Morning, Dan. Thanks for having me. Well, Herbert Diess definitely ruffled too many feathers in the past couple of years in his tenure at Volkswagen. He really tried to push change and didn't always find the right way to do that. He was not seen as a team player, and eventually this now led to the replacement. I think going forward, we can expect a full strategy review by Oliver Blume, the current Porsche CEO, who will also take over the role as Volkswagen Group CEO at the same time, starting in September.
Okay, so help me understand what this means for the timeline and prospects on a Porsche IPO. You say this CEO dilution is bad for business.
Well, think about it this way. You've got two really important jobs. Number one, the strategy of Volkswagen Group, one of Germany's largest, one of the DAX largest companies, will need to be revisited and accelerated because there have been delays to the electrification strategy. And so that's a full-time job. And at the same time, Oliver Blume is taking on kind of the IPO for Porsche, a company he's been leading successfully for a couple of years. And that's going to be really difficult, I think, splitting that man into two. In terms of timeline, prospectus is likely in September, and the original plan, we understand, would have been to list this in October or November of this year. So there isn't a lot of time to get all of this sorted.
Exactly. Okay, so we're watching the Porsche IPO, and at the same time, what do you think any potential strategy shifts at the Volkswagen Group might mean under this new leadership? What are some of the changes that we can expect to see?
Well, I think there are two big questions. Question number one, how does Oliver Blume solve the lagging software development in Volkswagen's CARIAD software development group? There have been sequential delays that the new software platforms that improve battery performance or also semi-automated driving features just get delayed and delayed. And so the question is, will he follow on with that strategy, programming everything centrally, or will he give back more autonomy to the individual brands? And secondly, Oliver Blume has been a proponent of not just focusing on batteries for electrification and kind of carbon reduction in autos, but is also a strong believer into e-fuels, so kind of carbon neutral fuels that then reduce tailpipe emissions. And it will be interesting to see whether that philosophy, which they kind of developed within Porsche, will carry over to the wider Volkswagen Group.